What's up, guys? Bet Every Day here. And if you've been trying to get bigger arms and they just seem like they're not growing, they're just stubborn, they just won't budge, this is the video for you because I'm going to be going over the top 3 reasons why your arms are not growing. Without further ado, let's get started with number 1, and that is that you are not tracking your lifts. Okay, by tracking your lifts, I mean tracking your reps, tracking your sets, tracking the weight, and tracking the exercise. You need all 4. All 4 are crucial because you can't just track the weight and the reps, because if you don't track the exercise, then obviously how do you track that? But the exercise also has to be very specific, because if you just write down dumbbell curls, well, what is that? Did you do dumbbell curls with, what did you do it standing up? Did you do them together? Did you do them alternating? And if you did them alternating, how did you count that? Because you should be counting it as 1 rep for both. Like if I do this and this, that's 1. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's like if you do dumbbell bench press, you're not going to count this as 2 reps, right? Just because you did 1 for this pec and 1 for this pec. No, that's 1 rep for each pec. So when you're going to do your curls, you want to count it the same way. That way you're keeping consistency over the course of your tracking. Now, why is tracking so important? Tracking is so important because it gives you a frame of reference. It gives you something to beat the next time you go into the gym. And a lot of people think that as long as I train close to or to failure, I'll be all right, right? As long as I'm putting in the effort, I'll be all right. And not really, because the thing is, when you track, right, before you go to lift, you're going to open up your app or maybe your notebook, whatever you're tracking with, and you're going to see, okay, last week I did the 30-pound dumbbells for 10 reps. That means today I have to at least do 11. Now before you even pick up the weights, I got to get 11. No matter what, I have to get 11. Whereas if you didn't track, you probably just be like, okay, I don't know what I got last week, but it doesn't matter. Let me just, when I feel like I can't do another one, I'll put it down. You'll probably get to 10. It'll feel really hard, right? And then, because that's what you did last week. And then you'll probably put it down, not even knowing you're at the same reps that you did, the same reps and same weight last week. Now, that's another thing you do. You could change the weight, and then set a new record with a different weight. Either much higher reps or a higher weight with reps you haven't done, like a weight you haven't done before. So that's why tracking is so important, because it forces you to set a new record each and every week while also changing up the weights and the reps, which is just crucial for changing things up, preventing a plateau, and growing. Which also leads me into the second thing that is crucial of why your arms are not growing, which is progressive overload, okay? So you're not progressively overloaded, which also ties into tracking, because in order to progressively overload efficiently, you have to track. How do you know if you're progressively overloading if you're not even tracking? Just because you say, oh, I'm putting in as much as I can each workout? Well, you're probably not, because the fact of the matter is, if somebody had a gun to your head, you could probably get out a few more reps. But again, we just have this mindset of like, oh, I feel like I can't do another one, let's put them down. But if you knew, oh, okay, last week I did this much, like when you get to 10 and you're like, all I have to do is get 1 more to beat my record, you're going to push a lot more. Whereas versus like if you were just thinking like, I think this is enough. So there's the first 2, right? Track, progressive overload, and the last one, which is something a lot of people also skip on, which is that work your arm in 3 dimensions, okay? So if you look at the arm from the front, all right, you have your bicep and your tricep. Most people, that's what they do. They do some bicep curls or some variations of it, and then they do some either push downs or some variation of a tricep workout. But most people don't try to focus here on the center, right? They don't do anything about this, okay? And I'll tell you right now, if you want to get bigger arms, it's something you're going to have to focus on. It just makes sense. Why would you work your arms in only 2 dimensions if you want big, beefy, bloated, 3-dimensional arms, okay? So that's what you're going to have to do, right? You want 3D arms, right? You're going to have to work in 3 dimensions rather than just 2. So what can you do in order to work also the center of your arm? The biggest exercise, the most efficient exercise for that is probably going to be hammer curls, but going diagonally, going across your body. By adding resistance across the body, that's going to hit I believe it's called the brachialis, which is basically a muscle that runs right through here. So it's right in the middle of your bicep and your tricep. And when you work that, what's going to happen is you're not just going to have, You're not just going to have some muscle here or some muscle back here, but you're also going to have some muscle here, which will make your arms appear, and not just appear, but be much bigger, okay? So there you guys have it. So track your progress, track your weights, your sets, your reps, and your exercise. Progressively overload each and every week, and work your arms in 3 dimensions. Now, this can also be applied in every other muscle group, and you will see tremendous results. But I just made this video about arms because that's the most stubborn muscle group for most people is arms. I think probably the second one is chest. But again, you could take everything I mentioned in this video and apply it to whatever the stubborn muscle group is for you, and this will produce great results. I promise you. Stick to this consistently, and you will be amazed at how much results you will make just by implementing these 3 things. So there you guys have it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, if it provided any value for you, please leave a like, a comment, and possibly maybe a subscribe. I would really appreciate that. All right, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.